Welcome to Coffee Time Thursday.
We dedicate Thursday to sharing on topics from New Thought and authors from the past.
Let's get started.
Well, welcome everyone. So good to see you. I'm glad to be here with you again. And our topic for today is recognizing and releasing negative patterns, programmed patterns. So please join me in an opening prayer. So I say, good morning, Mother, Father, God, Source, this creator of abundant sunlight and the beautiful breeze and the beautiful jacaranda trees blooming here. Oh, you are divine. You are an abundance of joy and clarity and creativity. And I name and claim that today in this conversation, that we are filled up full with wisdom and knowledge. And we have tools, new tools in our tool belt to really guide us in moving forward in this wonderful world that we are gifted to be present in right here, right now. Thank you, Source. And so it is. So, well, I'm excited and not excited to talk about this topic because I have to keep recognizing my programmed patterning. So I realized this week that I have a really intelligent mind, and it thinks the same things pretty darn often. And sometimes they aren't for my highest and best good. So I really had to look at my program patterning. And so some of them I realized were from my father. You have to work hard, that you have to go out and get what you want. God doesn't just give things to you. And I just thought that was the truth and normal for me. And I always pushed hard to get achievement and acknowledgement from others. I want to be early to meetings because if I'm late, I may not be approved of. I sure can't be late to work or I could get fired. And I worked in jobs that had pressure and you had to have results every day. I was a legal patent secretary, and you have deadlines or you lose your patents. And I don't want to be responsible for someone losing their patents. So you have to track even ahead of time because you have deadlines over the weekend. How do you get them all done and keep your balance and your serenity? And it was always pressure, pressure, pressure. But I didn't realize that I had options until I found in my later years unity and spirituality, and knowing that God is always divinely guiding me and directing me, and I can relax and trust that it's going to get handled, that God's my co-pilot. And it's so much easier this way to feel supported by Source, that everything will get done, or to ask for help. In the old days, you couldn't ask for help. You just burn out and they let you go and they hired somebody else. They didn't care. There wasn't help, but with Source as my guidance, there is always help. There is a way to get everything done. And so now I'm okay. I can be late for a meeting. I'll usually call someone and say, I'm going to be a few minutes late, or text them, or I can even cancel a meeting. I'm more empowered when I know it's okay, as long as I'm clearly putting myself first and my balance and my peace and harmony. And I run it through my God self, definitely. And I have an affirmation that things are always working out for my highest and best good. And I keep believing that. And so I'm now reprogramming those patterns in my brain. I mean, I can relax and trust Source through all of this. So that's what I'd like to share. Who else has some comments on that?
Okay, I'll go. It's funny that you bring this up, because one of the things that I recognize is when something comes up, it means I need to learn a little. It's a little bit more nudging to learn.
And this is one that I've also been, I'll be driving along and then something will just pop into my head. And I'm like, where the heck did that come from? You know, why is that negative thought popping in there? What am I, and I keep trying to figure out what am I doing in my day that keeps bringing that up, but it's not necessarily that. It's just sometimes, you know, thoughts just pop in, and being able to, I've been reading a lot and doing a lot with the Golden Key, which is the unity pamphlet, and about turning things over to God. And I it makes a difference. I was struggling with something that I wasn't sure how I needed to handle it. So I was laying in bed, and this is when a lot of my little comes to my mind when I'm trying to go to sleep. This is why I have insomnia. And so my head hits the pillow, and all this stuff starts to pop in, and I'm just like, you know, well, and in the past I would have role played, well, I should say it this way, or no, I should say it this way, or maybe I should talk to that person instead. And after about 2 or 3 minutes, I'm like, wait a minute, I'm trying to go to sleep. All this stuff, all this crap is in my head. I'm going to take this into my dreams. This is going to be a part of my biology. No, So I said, all right, I'm going to golden key this. I'm turning this over. And it's going to, whatever's going to happen is going to be the right thing that happens. And lo and behold, I woke up in the morning and I walked out. I wasn't even halfway awake yet. And my husband just blurted some stuff out. And I'm like, thank you, God. Not to him, but to God, because I'm just like, that's exactly what I needed to hear, because it didn't have to be done. I didn't have to concoct all this stuff about it, or try to figure it all out, or because I am in the flow of source. And, you know, if I just say, okay, here it is, I'm not sure what it's supposed to be, but here it is, and take a look at this and let me know, he does, she does, I get it. And so I felt like relieved that, you know, that even though I am very much a work in progress, unfortunately. I mean, I was hoping someday I'd be going, yay, I'm there, but it's not working out that way for me. That's okay, because I'm willing to be that work in progress, and I'm willing to show the side that, you know, it's not as pretty as we'd like it to be. And sometimes we all have that pitfall we have to go through. And I'm just grateful that I've come this far. I'm grateful to be sitting here with you guys and to be able to share these kind of topics, because I know there are people out there like us going, oh, wow, I thought I was the only one that struggled, you know, and no, we're not the only one that has thoughts like that. And we're in the flow. I have to remind myself I'm in the flow, and it works out every single time. So thank you for sharing.
I'll share something. When Becky said it was a relief to realize that she wasn't the only one, I it's been ever since in the past year. I'll be talking about something, and then I can't remember a name. Like I keep dropping names. It's like, how did I just drop that name? But it's been happening. Or I'll think of, start to tell Larry about something, and then I'll say, oh, that person that, and it's like, why can't I remember that? And so I was listening to the news yesterday, and they had this psychologist on there, and they have a name for it. And it's called COVID, and I don't remember the second word, but COVID forgetfulness. And they said it's very, very common right now that people, because we're in a different state, our worlds have changed so much, that's affected our memory. It's affected our brains and our ability to follow through on something that was so natural before. So it made me feel good, like, oh, it's not just me. I'm not experiencing dementia. It's just part of this whole process and how it's affecting people in this world. So if you go to talk about something and you drop a name, you're normal right now.
I love this topic, and trying to figure out which direction I'm going to approach it from. It's a big one. For me, knowing my kryptonite, knowing what triggers me and where I'm likely to react, helps me to recognize this is my stuff, right? You just sparked something, whether it's something in the news, something somebody said. If I know I'm reacting to my stuff, it takes some of the power out of it. So that helps me a lot. Another piece is, two more actually. In the 12-step programs, we have a saying, what other people think of me is none of my business. And what that means is my life isn't contingent on the approval of any other person. I really related to what you said, Deb. I get everywhere early. So I've been waiting 20 minutes by the time this is supposed to happen. If you're 10 minutes late, I've waited for a half an hour. Now, whose fault is that, right? And I have to realize, well, that's my fault because I was here 20 minutes early. And if I know that, I'm able to let it go. The other piece is Pastor Robert said this, and it just ignited within me, and I say it all the time. He said, this has come to pass. It's here just to go away. I don't have to analyze it. I don't have to attach to it. I don't have to apologize. Let it go. It's come to pass. And I use that all the time. Whenever I start to bite or spark or react, I let it pass. And I remember him saying that. This has come to pass. And it's like, I never heard it that way before. So I hope that helps you as much as it does me. I'm really holding on to that.
I like that. This has come to pass. I'm going to use that. Thank you for sharing. And would you please close us in a meditation?
I would love to. So let's get comfortable and allow some of the ideas that we've talked about to just reach deeper within us. Becoming aware of our breath and our breathing, and knowing that we are perfect. We already are. We are loved completely and unconditionally. Breathe that in. And let's just be aware that God is with us, hearing us, seeing us, guiding us, and answering us. And so it is. Thank you all for joining us. Please like, comment on the video, share it if you know somebody who would like to see it. It helps us, and hopefully it helps you. God bless.
Bye.
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 See you next time.
Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week. If you want to be a part of the conversation, comment below, like, and share with your Coffee Time friends.